This is my attempt at a hardcore Nuzlocke of Pokemon Y using only grass type Pokemon. If you want to know the hardcore Nuzlocke rules, then I'll pop them on the screen now, but feel free to reference them in the description below at any point. Grass type Pokemon have 4 main weaknesses: fire, flying, bug, and ice. Bearing that in mind, you may be thinking, well, why grass types? And in all honesty, I want to do a hardcore Nuzlocke of every type, but want to start with the 3 starter type choices of grass, water, and fire. X and Y is one of my favourite Pokemon games, and I have decided to start here to give me a better chance as I have a good amount of experience in these games. The good thing about choosing grass types in this game is that there are no grass type version exclusives. That means all my possible encounters are fully obtainable. I'm writing the script before I attempt this challenge, so wish me some luck by leaving a thumbs up and subscribing whilst you're down there. With that all cleared up, let's take a leap into the Kalos region. So our morning starts out like any other. We are awoken by wild poultry attacking us in the safety of our own home, and we try to flee only to be greeted by 2 young girls standing in the everlasting, terrifying, lightless, soul-stealing abyss. What? Oh, the textures just hadn't loaded? Oh, okay. These young girls are named Serena and Shauna, or as I like to call them, Useless 1 and Useless 2, because I really don't care for them. And speaking about not caring for people, they take us to meet Useless 3 and 4, Trevor and Tierno. I assert my dominance and tell them to call me Daddy, and demand that I take the grass starter Chespin as per the rules of this Nuzlocke run. I name the Chespin Kiwi. Kiwi has a lonely nature which increases attack and lowers defense. That works fine for me. We destroy Useless 1 and head home to tell our mother that we are leaving to raise the strongest grass types in the region, and she bids us farewell. Our first wild Pokemon we can catch is in Santaloon Forest, and it only takes us 2 tries to encounter. But we end up finding Pansage, who we catch and name Broccoli. Broccoli is a bashful nature, which means its nature doesn't boost or decrease any certain aspect of its stats, which I'm more than happy with. We leave Santaloon Forest and end up on Route 3, where we can get our next encounter, a Burmy. We need Burmy to be a female as it evolves into a bug grass type called Wormadam. If it's male, it'll end up evolving into Motham. And luckily... never mind. Wormadams are stupid anyway. Now it's time to take on the first gym. The level cap of this gym is level 12. So I got Kiwi and Broccoli up to level 12 and start out by sending Broccoli to set up Leers on Viola's Surskit. After about 3 Leers, I switch into Chespin, who gets hit by a quick attack on switching, and then another quick attack before Kiwi can take Surskit out with a single rollout. Fun fact about rollout, the move's power increases for every turn in a row it successfully hits an opponent. Although it's only hit Surskit once, it's still a slight power boost and allows Kiwi to have an upper hand against the bug flying type Vivillon. Vivillon starts by using Harden, but Kiwi gives absolutely 0 fucks and takes Vivillon out in 1 hit with a critical hit rollout, winning us the first gym badge. After beating the first gym, we head to Route 4 where we meet Viola's sister, who gives us the XP share, but I won't be using it during this run. On Route 4, after about 20 minutes of hunting, we run into a Badoo who we catch and name Cabbage. After a while of running around like a lunatic up and down Route 4, we level up Badoo and he evolves into Roselia. We then find a Poison Barb on the same route and give it to Cabbage to hold. This boosts the power of poison type moves. Whilst in Lumio City, we are told to visit the professor who gifted us Kiwi at the beginning, and we get the absolute pleasure of running into Useless 1 through 4. Anyway, Professor Sycamore offered us one of the 3 Kanto stars if we can beat him in a battle. So we send out Kiwi, who sweeps his whole team using nothing but rollout. Wow, this is a little overpowered at this point. We then pick Bulbasaur and name her Pineapple. She has a brave nature which makes her slower, but then gives her a boost in attack. We head towards Route 5 where we can get our next encounter, which is a Skiddo. Unfortunately, this footage corrupted, I have no idea why, but we ended up catching a Skiddo and naming her Strawberry. She has a rash nature and the ability Sap Sipper. After catching Skiddo, we also had Bulbasaur evolve into Ivysaur, as well as Chespin evolving into Quilladin. On Route 6, heading towards Perfume Palace, we run into our next encounter, which is an Oddish, and it has a jolly nature and we name her Radish. Jolly is absolutely awful, it increases speed but lowers special attack, and honestly we could really do with that being the other way around. But we move. In the berry farm south of Route 7, we find the Miracle Seed and pick that up. This is a great item as it boosts grass type moves, and this is going to be super handy in this run. It is now time to fight your mum. And normally I don't comment on small battles like these, but 1, I couldn't pass up a your mum joke, and 2, whilst Roselia chipped away at Snorlax's health using Venoshock, a critical hit tackle takes us all the way down to 1 HP. I nearly lost Roselia to a crit. I have to be more careful. So we switch into Kiwi and take it down. On Route 7 we use Oddish's Sweet Scent to call a horde and encounter a horde of Hoppips. This is funnily enough one of my favourite grass types and I cannot wait to use it. I catch one and name it Cress and then level it up to level 80 where it evolves into Skiploom. Now between here and the second gym, nothing really happens, but we do manage to run into a Ferroseed in the Glittering Cave, and we catch this little beauty and name him Grape. This is such a good defensive Pokemon, and though he can't really pack a punch, he can help the team out immensely. Okay, so this really takes the biscuit. I've had a few OBS issues over the past few days, and I went to record the battle against Grant for the second gym badge. The file just disappeared. I'm not even joking, it's not like it was deleted, it didn't not record, it was there and now it's gone. I've checked my whole computer, I even got Premiere Pro to do a file check for it and it cannot find it on the computer. So just to summarize, we went up against Amora and Tyrant and we done really well, but we did end up losing Go-Go. It sucks that the first death was off screen, but hey, we move. We got a second badge, let's move on. With the second badge now obtained, it is now time to head onwards. And on Route 10, we can run into an Eevee. And you may be thinking, well, that's not grass type. And yes, you're technically right, but it does evolve into Leafeon. But unfortunately, it does not evolve into Leafeon until we're at the 8th gym. So we'll catch it and put it in the box for the time being anyway. And name it Salad, and it has a serious nature. Not too bad. On the way to the next gym, we head through Geosenge Town. And in there, we run into Karina, who has 2 Lucarios. So we send out Kiwi, who with a few soft sanded boosted bulldozers takes out Lucario. Then we switch into Ivysaur, who after putting it to sleep and throwing some leech seeds at it, a few Razor Leafs takes this Lucario out as well. Time to head through the cave and onto the next gym. Whilst heading through the cave, we have Skiploom evolve into Jumpluff. Whilst in Shallow City, we pick up the TMs for Poison Jab and Dig as well. On the other side of the cave, to the right, we have Route 12. And on this route, we can catch one of my favourite Pokemon, and this is an Execute. This is Psychic Grass type and it's going to be a great addition to the team, especially with the next gym being Fighting type. But Execute isn't going to be great, so I guess it's time to do some super training and get ourselves some Leaf Stones. With 2 Leaf Stones obtained, we can now evolve Execute into Executor and then Pansage into Simisage. Full transparency, I am going to be skipping out on the Tower of Mastery. We do have a rival fight here, but I really don't want to bore you. We're showing you pointless 1 through 4, so let's just head to the 3rd gym. Whilst in the gym, we have Ivysaur evolve into Venusaur, which is going to be a great help. So we're taking on Karina now, and I'll be honest, I was absolutely bricking it because I know how strong Hawlucha can be. But we lead with Venusaur, and after a few Leech Seeds and a Venoshock, Meanfu goes down. Same story for Machoke, and after we put Hawlucha to sleep, a few Petal Dancers and Hawlucha's down, and that's the 3rd gym badge. That really was very underwhelming. On the way to the next gym, we pick up 2 very useful items. The Leftovers and the Shiny Stone to evolve Roselia. Before we can take on the 4th gym, we run into Useless One. She wants to challenge us to a battle, so we'll have to put her in her place. We send out Simisage and we use Bite on Meowstic a few times until it is taken out. Then we switch into Kiwi, who uses a few Needle Arms and then takes out Absol, and Venusaur makes easy work of Braixen. It was now time to take on the wannabe Grass Master of Kalos, Ramos. And honestly, this was a very, very simple battle. It was a one-man show with Jumpluff and absolutely destroyed his team using nothing but acrobatics. This was so easy. These past few gyms have been a cakewalk. Hopefully the next one is as well. On the way back to Lumio City, we run into Team Flare, who is the reason that all of our electric bills have increased. Let's put them in their place. Now we're in Lumio City and we have a level cap of 37. Kiwi can finally evolve into Chestnut, and this is going to be super handy because it learns to move Spiky Shield. So anyone that hits us gets recoiled with damage. It's now finally time to take on the 5th gym. My plan is to go in with Simisage and hit the Emolga with a few Rock Tombs to lower its speed and whittle its health down. But that doesn't quite go to plan as it hits us with a hard hitting Aerial Ace and knocks us into the yellow. Time to switch out into Venusaur. I remember to put the Mega Stone on Venusaur, so we now have a strong hitting Mega Venusaur. We Mega Evolve and use a Venoshock and take out the Emolga quite easily. Next in is Magneton, and we use Sleep Powder to put it to sleep, fire off Leech Seed, and then after a few Petal Dances, Magneton goes down. Last up was Helioisk, and we switch into Chestnut so that we can get rid of the confusion on Venusaur, get off a Bulldoze, and then switch back into Venusaur, who finishes it off with a Venoshock. And that is the 5th badge obtained. That was a bit harder. That was a little bit harder, I'm not going to lie. The Emolga caused some issues. Will Byers from Stranger Things then calls us and asks us to meet him on Route 14. He then greets us very oddly and says some inappropriate things. So we're going to have to beat up Serena's to make up for it. Serena starts off by sending out Meowstic and we send out Sage. We go for a bite. We don't only get a critical hit, but you also get the flinch. So the next bite then takes out Meowstic. Then comes in our worst nightmare, Delphox. We go for a bite, but she moves first and hits with a mystical fire, leaving us on 1 HP. We managed to regain some HP using the leftovers, but it's really not enough. And we can't switch into anyone because no one can take another mystical fire. So unfortunately, Broccoli has to take the hit so we can get a free switch in. Rest in peace, Broccoli. We then go into Kiwi and finish off Delphox with a bulldoze. Last up is Absol, so we send in Venusaur and after a few petal dances, Absol goes down. This battle was actually a lot harder than I thought and we really do need to find a counter to these fire types. Whilst heading through Route 14, we run into our next encounter, which is a Bellsprout. We name it Bell Pepper and then place it in the PC. Before taking on the 6th gym, it was time for some evolutions. We evolve Roselia into Roserade using the Shiny Stone, and then Ferroseed into Ferrothorn and teach it the move Power Whip. These two should be really handy against this Fairy type gym. Now the 6th gym, I really don't have too many worries about this, as 3 out of the 6 members of our team are really good against Fairy types. Roserade being Poison type, Venusaur being Poison type, and then Ferrothorn being Steel type. I start the battle off by sending in Roserade to set up a Toxic Spikes, and then switch into Kiwi who does a few bulldozers, wastes a few of Valerie's Hyper Potions, and then eventually takes out Marwile. Mr. Mime then comes in next and we send in Ferrothorn. Mr. Mime instantly gets poison thanks to the Toxic Spikes, and then after a few Gyro Balls and Poison Jabs, Mr. Mime is taken out as well. Last up is Sylveon, and we do pretty much the exact same thing. It gets poisoned by the Toxic Spikes, and then after a few Poison Jabs and Gyro Balls, Sylveon goes down. And we win the 6th gym badge. That wasn't too bad. Once again, we are called upon for some help by some adults. Apparently some Pokeball factories being taken over by Team Flare. I don't know, but we got rewarded with a free Master Ball and a big nugget. So win-win, I guess. This next encounter is so vital for this run. It's the only water grass type we can get in this whole run, and that is a Lombre. I cannot wait to use this because I know that it was going to be a huge help against Team Flare. Well, there's no time like the present, so we use a Water Stone on Lombre and it evolves into a Ludicolo. The bulk is seriously going to help us so much here. On the way to the next gym, we run into Team Flare again in the Frost Cavern. Honestly, we seriously need to put a stop to them. But with our new addition of Ludicolo, we take out Houndoom with ease and then get the Abomasnow Knight. The Abomasnow Knight? We get the Mega Stone for Abomasnow, which is going to be super handy because our next encounter is going to be a Snover, I hope. We head towards Anastasia City, and on Route 17 we do encounter a Snover. This is pretty awesome because we now have a grass and ice type Pokemon on our team. Let's evolve it into a Abomasnow. Whilst in Anastasia City, we run into a lady who gives us the TM for Flamethrower. Although it may not be handy at the minute, it could be helpful in the future. Now it's time to take on Serena, and I am not looking forward to this just because her Delphox is providing a real issue. We start off by sending out Ferrothorn and then start with Payback, as we are guaranteed to go last because we are so slow. So Payback is going to do a hefty chunk of damage. Also, side note, for some reason it's healing. Like, sure, okay, why not? But after we do some damage with Payback, we then switch into Parsnip. With Meowstic being in the red and the hail being up, I think the best thing to do is to go with Protect. We have leftovers so we can regain health by using that, and the hail can then take out Meowstic. Then our worst nightmare comes out, Delphox. We go with Surf, but she goes with Psychic first and gets us down to 78 HP. We hit Delphox into the yellow and the hail then hits it into the red. We take another Psychic, bringing us down to 29 HP, but able to take it out with one more Surf. That could have been really bad. Serena's newly added Jolteon then comes in, so we switch into Kiwi, and then after a few bulldozers mixed with the hail, we take out Jolteon. And last in is Absol, and after a Hammer Arm, it goes down. Honestly, we need to find a better way to approach this Delphox, as it's proven to be a massive issue. After beating Serena, it's now time to take on Olympia, the 7th gym leader. My plan for this was to lead with Abomasnow because I know she leads with Sigalith. We set up the hail and then we Mega Evolve and then go for a few Ice Shards. Slowking then comes in and then instantly goes back down with a Wood Hammer. And last up is Meowstic. She goes for a Fake Out, and then on the next turn we go for an Ice Punch, but she gets us down into the yellow with a Psychic, and that means we need to switch out because I'm not risking losing Abomasnow this late on. We switch into Grape, who takes a Psychic and a Shadow Ball incredibly well, and we take out Meowstic with a Payback. This gym was not as bad as it could have been, and I'm super glad we didn't lose anyone. With the 7th gym now defeated, it is time to head on with our journey. But I wanted to take a trip back to Geosenge Town because the music is absolutely beautiful. And what's going on here? Oh my god, what have Team Flare done? Fuck's sake. I'm gonna have to clean up the mess again, aren't I? We find Lysandre at the bottom of this weird elevator cave thing, and then he starts crying. I don't know why, so we ask him and he just says Pokemon. Same, mate. Same. To stop Lysandre crying, we challenge him to a battle. He sends out Meanshao and we send out Exeggutor. Meanshao goes for an Acrobatics, taking us down to the yellow, but we hit back with a Psyshock and take it out instantly. Pyroar comes in next and we switch into Parsnip. We take 2 Fire Blasts and then take out Pyroar with a critical hit Surf. Honchkrow comes in next and we send in Grape, and after a few Iron Heads, Honchkrow goes down. Last in is Gyarados, and we switch into Kiwi predicting the Earthquake, which it does go for. We then go for Spiky Shield to get some little damage off, and then go for a Seed Bomb. Outrage takes us down to the yellow, so we go for another Spiky Shield to get some more knockoff damage. And then Gyarados hits us with another Outrage down to 3 HP, but we managed to take out Gyarados using Seed Bomb. That was close. After trekking down to the bottom of the basement, we find this weird looking egg. And I'm just going to let the cutscene play because it goes without saying, this cutscene is amazing. Well, to be able to continue on with the game, you actually have to catch Yveltal. I did try defeating it, but it just made me catch it. So we're going to Master Ball it, and then we have to fight Lysandre. And obviously, Yveltal's not a grass type, so we're going to put it in the box for now, and then we will release it later on. Honestly, at this point, I have no idea what he's wearing. It looks ridiculous. But he starts out with Meanshao, and we go into Exeggutor. Same method as last time. We get hit by an Acrobatics, and we then go for a Psyshock and take it out in one hit. Pyroar then comes out, so we go into Parsnip. We take a Fire Blast, but luckily we restore some HP using the leftovers. My plan is to use Protect and stall out his Fire Blast, as I know it only has 5 PP, and then try and take it out with Surf. We managed to get 1 Surf off, but get down into red HP, so we need to stall a little bit more using Protect. I then go for another Protect to stall out another turn of Fire Blast. Sometimes you can use Protect 2 times in a row, and it's successful. This isn't one of those times, so we miss using Protect, but then we avoid the Fire Blast. We then go for another Protect just to make sure that the Fire Blasts have been used up, and just to regain a little bit more health with the leftovers. That leftovers came in clutch as Pyroar went for a Hyper Voice, leaving us on 2 HP, which means we can take out the Pyroar with a Surf. Honchkrow is out next, and naturally we go into Grape, and after a few Iron Heads, Honchkrow goes down. Lastly, Gyarados comes out, but it's not just Gyarados, it is Mega Gyarados. I predict the Earthquake, so we switch into Kiwi and we take it very well. I then go for a Spiky Shield just to get a little bit of damage off on Gyarados. We then get hit by an Outrage which takes us down into the red, but after 1 Seed Bomb, we take out Mega Gyarados. I really didn't see this coming, but I guess without the flying type, Seed Bomb does a lot more damage. Because the little bitch baby lost, he then sets off the weapon, and he ends up unaliving himself in the process. So I'm like, sure, that's on you, mate. That's not my responsibility. R.I.P. Lysandre. With Lysandre dead, it is time to head towards the last gym. On the way, we do run into pointers 2 through 4, but they really didn't prove to be an issue. Okay, so my plan here is to go out into Venusaur. Wulfric's first Pokemon is Abomasnow, which is part grass type, and our poison typing will do really well against it. But as an additional bonus, if we Mega Evolve, Venusaur gets the ability Thick Fat, which reduces the amount of damage we take from fire and ice type moves, so this is going to be the perfect scenario. We Mega Evolve, and after 2 Venoshocks, Abomasnow goes down. Cryogonal is out next. Predicting an Ice Beam, we then go into Ferrothorn, who takes an Ice Beam extremely well due to his Steel typing. We get hit by an Ice Beam, and then on the next turn we get hit with Confuse Ray, but manage to break out and take out Cryogonal with 1 Iron Head. Wulfric's last Pokemon is an Avalugg, and it has a massive defensive stat. We try to go through a few Iron Heads to chip away at some damage, but we don't break through any of our confusions, and we get hit into the yellow after a few avalanches. I'm not taking a risk, so I switch back into Mega Venusaur. On the switch in, Venusaur takes a massive crunch, lowering us to 51 HP and lowering our defense. Taking the risk, I go for a Sleep Powder and we luckily hit it. We then go for a Leech Seed to get back some health and then hit a few Venoshocks. Wulfric does use a Hyper Potion, but luckily throughout this whole time that Venusaur is on the field, Avalugg does not wake up once. And we take down Avalugg, winning us the final gym badge. Now with the 8th gym done and the Elite Four and Champion coming up, it's time to build up the team. So I go back to Route 16 where I missed the encounter there and pick up a Pumpkaboo. I also ended up catching a Rotom, and I know this isn't a grass type, but if I go to Lumio City, I can actually change its form into a grass electric type, which is a Mower. Unfortunately I did lose the footage of catching the Rotom, but hey, we have it now. Alright, it's Elite Four time. Let's go over the team that I'm going in with. We have our starter Kiwi, Spiky Shield, Hammer Arm, Seed Bomb and Earthquake with the Expert Belt. Cauliflower with Ice Punch, Ice Shard, Ingrain, Wood Hammer and the Abomasnow Knight. Pumpkin, Flamethrower, Seed Bomb, Shadow Sneak and Shadow Ball holding the spell tag. Parsnip, Surf, Water Sport, Protect, Ice Beam holding the leftovers. Pineapple with Venoshock, Sleep Powder, Earthquake, Petal Blizzard and the Venusaurite. And lastly we have Mint with Leaf Storm, Thunderbolt, Ominous Wind, Substitute and it's holding the Magnet. I thought the best strategy was to start with the easiest first, so we take on Seabold. But honestly someone needs to talk to their interior designer because this room is a massive hazard. Seabold starts with a Chlorit set and we send out Kiwi. We go for a Seed Bomb and get a lucky critical hit on the first turn, taking it out. Starmie comes out next and hits us with a powerful Psychic, dropping us to 14 HP. But we counter back with a powerful Seed Bomb, taking it out. Gyarados is out next, so we switch into Mint, take an Ice Fang really well, and then go for a Thunderbolt, taking Gyarados down. Last out is Barbaracle, so we go into Venusaur and Mega Evolve, and then after a single Petal Blizzard, Barbaracle goes down, and that is 1 out of the 4 Elite Four done. Basnet is up next, and we go for Abomasnow while she goes for Dragalge. We Mega Evolve and go for an Ice Punch. Ice Punch takes Dragalge all the way down to red, and even the Hail can't take it out, but we do manage to get the freeze somehow. Honestly, I have no idea how, but we also get Poison Pointed. She then goes for a full restore next turn, which means we can go for one last Ice Shard and take out Dragalge. Noivern then comes out next, but because I'm not sure if we outspeed or not, I go for an Ice Shard, and it barely doesn't take it out. But Abomasnow gets taken out with a Flamethrower. That really sucks. We then send out Mint, but Drasna then uses a full restore on Noivern. We go for a Thunderbolt, taking it down into the yellow, but we also get hit with a Super Fang next turn, but manage to take out Noivern with another Thunderbolt. Parsnip then comes in when Altaria does, and on the switch in we get hit with a Dragon Pulse but tank it very well. We go for an Ice Beam, but Altaria goes for Cotton Guard, but we get a critical hit and take it out. Druddigon is out last. We hit it with an Ice Beam, but then it hits back with a Dragon Tail, switching us into Kiwi. We go for a Spiky Shield to get some damage off, and then an Earthquake barely doesn't take it out. We get hit with a Revenge, but that does nothing, and we can finish Druddigon off with a Seed Bomb. Our third opponent is Wigstrom. He starts with a Klefki, and we start with Kiwi. Klefki starts by setting up spikes, and we go for Earthquake. It is then a constant back and forth with Earthquakes and full restores. We get Klefki down into the red, and then switch into Gorgai so that we can take it out using Shadow Sneak. Sizzle comes out next and hits us hard with a Night Slash into the yellow, but we counter back with a Flamethrower, taking it out. Aegislash then comes in next, so we switch into Kiwi. We take a Shadow Claw down into the yellow, but counter back with a powerful Earthquake, taking it out. If it wasn't in its attack formation, I definitely don't think we would have taken it out. Last out is Probopass, so we go for a Hammer Arm, but it doesn't take it out due to Sturdy, which absolutely sucks. It goes for a Flash Cannon, knocking us down into the red, and I know that if we don't outspeed next turn, we'll lose Kiwi. So I switch into Pineapple, we Mega Evolve just to be safe, and then we take it out swiftly with a Petal Blizzard. Okay, so we spoke about Seabolt having a hazardous room. Malva has some different shit going on here. Honestly, this is not safe at all. She sends out her Pyroar and we send out Kiwi. And she goes for a Noble Roar, lowering our attack and our special attack, but even with our stats lowered, a Hammer Arm takes Pyroar out easily. Next out is her Talonflame, and honestly this is going to be the burden of this whole run. We have no counter for it whatsoever, so I go for a Spiky Shield just to get some residual damage off. She goes to her Brave Bird and takes Kiwi down. We then go into Mint because Mint's the one that I don't mind losing the most because he is the newest on the team. We try going for a Thunderbolt, but we get outsped and a Flare Blitz takes it out. The only benefit to this is Talonflame is now in the yellow, and that means we can go into Pumpkin and take it out with a single Shadow Sneak. This isn't good, but sacrifices had to be made. Next up is Chandelure, so we switch into Parsnip and take a Flamethrower on the switch in. We go for a Surf, but Chandelure outspeeds and goes for a Confuse Ray. We do end up hitting ourselves in Confusion, but then on the next turn we snap our Confusion, hit it with a Surf, take it down to the yellow, and on the next turn we can take it out with another Surf. Malva's last Pokemon is a Torkoal. We go for a Water Sport to reduce any damage from fire type moves, but Torkoal actually ends up going for Stone Edge. Okay, sure, why not? We get hit into the yellow, so I switch into Venusaur. We Mega Evolve, and after a few Earthquakes, we take Torkoal down. I knew this last battle was going to be hard, but honestly I didn't think we'd lose as many as we did. Let's take on the champion. Now, full transparency, I may have broken a rule by complete accident, but I had a few rare candies in my bag and I wanted the best chance I could. So I used my rare candies and leveled everyone up to level 69. Nice. But didn't realise that her Mega Gardevoir was actually level 68. Oh, I'm so sorry, but hopefully one level doesn't make too much of a difference. She starts with Harlucha and we go in with Parsnip. We go for an Ice Beam and she misses her Flying Press, which means Harlucha ends up in the red. She goes for a full restore, so we hit Harlucha back down in the red with an Ice Beam, but she manages to hit us with a Flying Press, but another Ice Beam takes Harlucha out. Next out is Tyrantrum, and honestly I know that it's inevitable that Parsnip's going to go down. So we go for a Surf, getting Tyrantrum down into the yellow, but a Head Smash takes us out. RIP Parsnip. Pineapple then comes out next and we Mega Evolve and then go for an Earthquake, taking Tyrantrum down. Aurorus is out next and we go for an Earthquake, hitting it down into the yellow, but she goes for a Light Screen and then on the next turn full restores, but it's inevitable, after a few Earthquakes, Aurorus goes down. Her next Pokemon is Goodra and it has the ability Sap Sipper, so we cannot put her to sleep or use any grass type moves on it. But after a few Earthquakes and taking a few Dragon Pulses, Goodra goes down as well. Her Gourgeist comes out next, and after an exchange of Phantom Force and Venoshocks, we go down to a second Phantom Force. Without Mega Venusaur, this battle would not have been possible. RIP Little Pineapple. It is now an honor battle between Gourgeist, and I go for a Shadow Sneak, taking out her Gourgeist, which means we can take on Gardevoir with full HP. We go for a Shadow Sneak, but her Gardevoir Mega Evolves and it barely hangs on. If it hadn't Mega Evolved, we would have won this. But she then uses a full restore and it's a back and forth with Shadow Sneaks until we take it out and become the champion. That is it. We beat a Pokemon Y Hardcore Nuzlocke using only grass type Pokemon. This video has been a long time in the making and I did not have an easy run, but we did it. Thank you everyone who watched this video. Honestly, it has been such a long time coming. I spent about 2 months recording this, a few weeks editing it, and it has been a ton of fun, but it has been difficult nonetheless. There are things I could have done better, but hey, we live and learn. I do want to do another Hardcore Nuzlocke run, but let me know in the comments which one you think I should do. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you know, and I'll see you guys in the next one.